Lori Urso, the Executive Director of the Old Slater Mill Organization.
Hi.
Thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. You've
Here.
got a great announcement because next Wednesday, the outdoor movies at Slater
Yes.
Mill kick off.
Well, actually, they kicked off this
Oh,
Wednesday.
they kicked off.
So-
We're already in the
But
throes of it.
it's okay if you missed it because it was kind of our first week and it gave us a chance to work out some of the kinks in the sound and things like that because
Yeah.
these are new experiences for us. But so this coming Wednesday is the second of 6 weeks of the Real America. That's REEL, America. And the point of the series is really to just use the opportunity and the great, big, beautiful side of Slater Mill to show some films that help us appreciate the different cultures that we have here in Rhode Island, the different people, and what motivates them to want to come to America, and why we should really embrace diversity. So we're really excited about the series and doing it there.
So how interesting, to go through and cultivate and say these are the 6 movies that we want to do.
Yeah.
Was that a difficult process? I've got the list right here,
Yes.
which we'll go through. But was it a fun process?
Well, it was a little challenging and a little fun because we want the movies to be suitable for families. So that, sort of put the lid on some of them. And we wanted to represent different parts of the world. So we, Erica Davis, our program director, and myself, we basically curated, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word, by going through different films and seeing what would really make a nice 6-week presentation. So that's what we worked on.
I've got the lineup here, and the movies are at 8 o'clock.
That's correct.
Open to the public.
Correct. Free to the public. Bring a chair. And there's bathrooms and cold drinks.
So it must be, again, on the Slater Mill. I'm trying to envision it. Is it the north side
Yeah,
wall?
so if you're familiar with Slater Mill, which is its own little campus in the downtown of Pawtucket, when you walk onto the campus, you walk around to the south side of the mill, and we project the films right onto the historic bell tower. So it's tucked a little bit around the corner, but very close walk from our parking lot. Yeah.
And so bring your own blanket, bring
Yes.
your own chair, bring your own refreshments. Are there any available, or do you suggest bringing
We
one?
do have a small store there for the museum, so you can get them there, or you're welcome to bring your own.
Okay, so we're going into week 2
Yes.
of this, and so the first one was The Namesake.
Which was a beautiful film.
How was it on Wednesday?
It was very nice. It was a perfect night, of course, just crystal clear and a little breeze. And The Namesake is a beautiful film about an Indian family, a Bengali family, and really just the cultural differences between children who come to America and who are raised here versus their parents trying to hold on to traditions. And you have to appreciate both sides of that. So.
Okay, that was movie number 1.
Yes.
This week coming up, Under the Same Moon.
Under the Same Moon, or La Misma Luna, which is another really beautiful film about a mother who comes to America to try to start a better life. She has to leave her son back in Mexico, and he manages to find his way to her. And it's a very lovely ending to a sad story in some ways.
So that is the 26th.
Yes.
August 2nd, Bend It Like Beckham.
Yes, so Bend It Like Beckham is one of our lighter films in the series. We really love that one. It's just a favorite film, and it is an interesting view of immigration in Europe, in England, and those cultural assimilations. And great soccer.
Oh, and great soccer.
Yeah.
A fun film, a fun family-friendly film. That one is August 2nd. August 9th, a double feature.
Yes, so there are 2 double features, August 9th and August 16th. The 9th is Papers, The Stories of Undocumented Youth, which is one of the more serious films we're showing, and then God Grew Tired of Us, which is a sad title, but it's really a very triumphant story about the lost boys of Sudan. So that's very worthwhile. And then on the 16th is the next one?
The 16th is another double feature.
The 16th is Sugar, which is the story of a baseball player from the Dominican Republic trying to survive in America. And then Selena, another great film we all love, starring Jennifer Lopez, about the Tejano singer.
Now these are double features. Are they starting off at 8 and
They'll
then
still start at 8.
going late
later.
into the evening?
Yes, because we have to wait for the sun to go down.
And then to wrap it up, the last
Yes.
one on August 23rd, The Secret of Grain.
Yes, so The Secret of Grain is a critically acclaimed film about a Tunisian man who's trying to really change his direction in life and open a couscous restaurant. And I haven't seen it yet, so I can't tell you much about it, but I've read amazing reviews.
Oh, is that the only one of the series that you haven't seen?
That's the only one.
Oh, okay. Well, a very full series. You had a great kickoff last week.
Yes, we did. Yes.
And, this is fantastic. Gives families the opportunity on a hot summer night. Go out, bring a blanket, anywhere. If you're from Pawtucket, if you just want to drive in, plenty of parking, very easy access, very close to the highway.
Yes. And we're grateful to the Rhode Island Foundation for their support for a community grant.
Helping put it on. So come take advantage of some great movies focusing on just everything's American and what the immigrant population brings in and just the diversity that we celebrate here in Rhode Island. Sounds like a great lineup of movies. Anything else going on at the Old Slater Mill organization in the summer that you might want to let folks know about while you're here in studio?
Of course, you can take a tour of the Old Slater Mill any day of the week because through Labor Day we're open 7 days from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and you get a beautiful guided tour through 3 historic buildings, including the 1793 Slater Mill. We have drop-in programs every Saturday in August, 10 a.m. to noon. Families with children even can come in any time between 10 and 12 and learn a simple weaving program and then take your creation home. So Catherine Migliaccio will be leading those. And of course, all of us at Slater Mill are very much involved in promoting the downtown development in the Growth Center and the ballpark at Slater Mill and the Pawsox. So we're partnering with the Pawsox wherever we can to really try to, spread the word of how important that institution is to us at Slater Mill and to everyone in Pawtucket and Rhode Island.
So it's a little bit, as we know, in a lull right now with the General Assembly and talking about the Pawsox, but we've heard folks from Pawtucket come in here. We've heard from a variety of folks talking about the issue. But you've got the unique vantage point. You're right there. You're with Slater Mill. How would that fit into the fabric? How would you see that if it were to move forward? Of course, there's a lot of discussions, there's opposition in some corners, but you're supportive of it. What would it mean for Slater Mill?
Well, I think anything that's good for downtown Pawtucket certainly is good for Slater Mill. And what's good for Slater Mill and the downtown is good for all of us because it's important that we have strong cities in Rhode Island. And we have to include all of our cities. And many of us have been champions for Pawtucket. I grew up right in the Fair Lawn area, so we have that deep roots in Pawtucket and really want the city to succeed. And in the period of time that I interpret through history at Slater Mill, we were operable through a time when Pawtucket was in its heyday. It was a thriving, dynamic, successful city. As the industrialism moved to the south, really Pawtucket has kind of been, unfortunately, on the losing end of a lot. We put a lot of focus elsewhere. So for us and for Slater Mill and for just bringing vibrant, sustainable life to downtown, it really means everything to us.
And tell us a little bit about the visitors coming. We're here in Rhode Island. We know school groups go. We know a lot of organizations go. How much do you get from out of state?
We get, we have, of our paid admissions, let's say, we're about 25,000. About 9,000 of those are school children in Rhode Island, Mass, Connecticut, New York. And the rest, many people come from Belper, England, just to visit Slater Mill because of the connections with Samuel Slater and Derbyshire. We have visitors from all around Europe. We have visitors from Asia. And of course, we have visitors from all over the United States. So people really want to come to this very American, very unique cultural site. It's a National Historic Landmark. It's treasured by Rhode Islanders, and certainly it's revered in Pawtucket. And it really says something about the city when people come from so far to visit this center of, the American Industrial Revolution. So,
do you get the sense it's oftentimes part of people come over here for a week's visit, day's visit, they'll do Providence, they'll do Newport, they'll do Pawtucket, that people see it as part of that full package of seeing what Rhode Island has to offer, especially from the historical perspective?
Yeah, I hope they see it as, just as exciting to see as, say, the Newport Mansions. I mean, it's certainly a different type of cultural attraction, but it's so significant in American history. And I think pairing, Rhode Island is very small and easy to get around, so you can really experience a lot of the state, our history, our dining, our beaches, almost in a weekend, really. You could make the round, so it's certainly doable.
And so talk to us a little bit about maybe the needs of Slater Mill. Obviously, it's, maintaining this historical structure, programming. You talked about the support of the Rhode Island Foundation, making this happen. Looking forward, what are the needs of Slater Mill? I mean, you're providing this opportunity to folks to come and watch movies, but of course it doesn't come for free.
Right.
What's on that 5 and 10 year plan that looking forward is needed to make this to be a continued vibrant organization for Rhode Islanders and folks around the world?
Well, as you can imagine, buildings as old as those at Slater Mill, and the fact that 2 of them are old industrial mills, there is a constant need to be vigilant about their care. We're very careful about their maintenance. We try not to defer their maintenance, and thankfully in Rhode Island we have organizations like the Champlain Foundations that are very generous with historic preservation, the 1772 Foundation, and even the taxpayers with the generosity of passing the cultural and historic bonds. So thankfully we have supportive partners who will help us maintain our buildings. And the biggest change coming in the next 5 to 10 years is probably within the next year we'll have a manageable boundary for the new Blackstone River Valley National Historical Park, and that will certainly include Slater Mill. And we will have more federal attention as a national park unit. So I think that will really be a benefit to the long term.
That was going to be one of my questions. Yes. How important is it? And then you just touched upon it a little bit. But again, to have that federal designation at Slater Mill.
Well, I think in terms of the simple thing of marketing is enormously important, because having the National Park Service encouraging, the people that really like to explore parks, encouraging them to come to Pawtucket, to the Blackstone Valley, I think that will make an enormous difference for us. But also, again, just having more support of national park rangers to help interpret, to help us, as a museum evolves in a community or in its world, it has to really consider its narratives, refreshing them, keeping it contemporary, doing traditional and non-traditional things. So with the Park Service as a partner, we hopefully can do a lot more free things for the community, and that's what's most important to us.
And here, the movie nights again, we're into the week 2 next week with them. We just did run through them, but if folks want to get more information, where do they need to go?
slatermill.org.
Very simple, very easy. 8 o'clock on Wednesdays. A couple Wednesdays, double bills, 2 for the price of 1, and I say price, they are free, open to the public. There have been lots of free movie nights around, and they're always very popular, but